Grace and peace, fam. Charles here with another midweek recharge from Connected Church. It's been a while since I've done one of these, and it was just on my heart actually to do one. I've been thinking about it earlier this week, and wanted to get back out here and just continue to provide that encouragement, that motivation. I know some folks in particular have been looking for, especially during such a time as this, right? And this will be quick. This won't actually be particularly long. I think it's a fairly simple point of consideration for all of us, and that's weighing the cost of our choices. What I mean by that is, I think when we choose to take an action, any action, whether we choose to wear a button down or, a long sleeve tee, whether we choose to wear a bow tie or necktie, whether we choose skirt or the pantsuit, dress or the pantsuit, whether we choose public school or private school, a new car or used car, whatever we choose, I think there's two things that happen when we knowingly make a choice that has the potential for severe negative consequences. And what I mean by that is just when we choose to do something foolish. And I know every single person watching this right now can relate, because every single one of us has knowingly, at some point in time in our lives, chosen to do something foolish. And I think when we do that for one of two reasons. Number one, our decision making is impaired. For whatever reason, it may be impaired because of substances, too much to drink, messing with drugs, whatever the case may be. But there's some sort of chemical imbalance that may be the result of substances. It may be a chemical imbalance within us, some sort of diagnosed imbalance or undiagnosed imbalance that can impair our judgment. So for whatever reason, kind of number one, we're dealing with impaired judgment. Or number two, and this is what happens the majority of the time, is that we make the choice that the benefit we gain from this poor decision is going to outweigh the negative consequence. And almost every single time when we knowingly make a foolish decision, that's the calculation that we make. We decide that the benefit we're going to gain, even if it's a temporary benefit, that benefit is going to outweigh any negative consequence that may result. And most often, what do we realize, particularly if we're not wealthy enough to endure the consequences? And the reality is, fam, most of us ain't wealthy enough to endure the consequences of our foolish decisions. And so what happens? What happens is we end up suffering with the consequences, and they are almost always more severe and last longer than we anticipate. Almost always. And you know what? Every parent knows exactly what I'm talking about, because every parent has tried to get their knucklehead teenager to understand this calculation. And many times we're not successful, because at one point in time, we were knucklehead teenagers and our parents were trying to help us to understand this calculation. My encouragement to you today, fam, is to take another moment and truly consider the depths and the weight and the breadth and the length of the negative consequence that results from your foolish choice. We may know some individuals that are currently just beginning the process of realizing the depth and the length and the weight of a foolish choice they made to participate in an insurrection last week. And in the moment, they were convinced that the benefit they were going to gain from taking this action was going to be better than the consequence. And I'm certain, I actually, there's evidence that there are many that are having second thoughts. Be encouraged, fam. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay in this fight of faith.